right, welcome to another episode of the Goose of All Trades podcast for our Candidates for Barker series. On my fourth episode, I have Kym Hanton for the Australian Federation Party. Thanks for joining me, Kym.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me.
All right, so pretty basic question off the bat. What made you run in this federal election, and why for the Australian Federation Party?
Basically, the reason why I decided to run was I don't like what's been happening over the last couple of years has been the pinnacle, but obviously before that, I haven't liked what I've seen in Australian politics. Politicians really do not seem to represent the people, which is something that they should be doing. And they are so focused on making each other look like the worst one, as opposed to, obviously playing off against each other, instead of, when they get elected, working for the betterment of, the Australian community, so to speak, as a whole. So that's what made me get into it. I didn't like what was happening. I could see I went to quite a few rallies because I started getting involved into that sort of thing. And I didn't like what I was seeing. I didn't like the forced mandates, the mask wearing, and now they're doing all the backpedaling. So that's what made me get into the political arena, and that's why I'm running now, because I believe that the only way to fix it or try and wind it back or create some better systems is to get involved in it and make things start to happen. And the only people that have that power are basically the electorates, like the electors. So those people obviously voting, I think people don't realise that they hold that power and they control who's sitting in Parliament. And as far as I'm concerned, the two major parties that currently sit in Parliament now, I don't want them leading us. You look at them and you really do not see a strong leader and somebody that can hold their own, so to speak. But I'm not here to slag them off. I could get into a tirade, but I'm not going to. But why the Australian Federation Party? In all honesty, it represented everything that I believed in. So the Australian Federation Party, being a member and a candidate of that party, if I got elected, it means that I can do what is best for the electorate. So if something that like we put forward or another party or puts forward doesn't or isn't in the best interest of Barker as a whole, then I can cross the floor. There's no issues with me voting against it. That's what the Australian Federation Party wants. They want people to actually stand up for their actual electorate and represent them and fight for them and be that voice that has been missing in Parliament for so long.
Yep.
So that's why I'm with them.
Have you always thought about running in politics, or a little
No,
bit of
hell
you,
no.
or nah? It's just got to that point where you've thought
When
now's now.
when I was younger, I dabbled in it a little bit. I was a little bit of a, I don't know what you would call me in my younger years, but I was actually a member of the Labor Party, and then I left that when I realised that Kim Beazley was a moron, and I didn't have much respect for Mike Rann either. So I left the party, didn't like it too much, and then I joined Defence. And so I used to be a Labor voter because northern suburbs of Adelaide. So we were always kind of told working class vote for Labor. So I'd always vote for Labor, and then I joined Defence, and Liberals' policies were generally better for Defence. So then I voted Liberal. Yep. So did I ever think that I would run for politics? No. But like I said, over the last couple of years, I've just seen it, and I've just gone, nah, I can't just sit by. I've got kids, and I don't want to be sitting on my hands and going, yeah, I just accepted it for what it was, and not try and fight and make things better.
Yep. So you obviously already stated that you were originally Labor, then went into Liberal. So when did your, I guess, opinion of the Australian Federation Party change to you thinking, yep, this is my party, this is who I am, I share my beliefs with this party? Is it recently, or?
Yeah, so like I said, I wasn't really interested in doing anything politically until I started going on to these freedom rallies and getting involved. And then I did actually look at United Australia Party, but it didn't ring for me. And then I considered One Nation. That didn't ring for me either. And then I basically, with a group of friends, I started basically gravitating towards the Australian Federation Party, and here I am. So
Yep.
yeah, that's how I ended up with them, because it just rang true for me.
Yep. So was running as an independent an option for you, or are you more comfortable with the party politics?
I've met your independents that we've got running in Barker, and they're awesome people. But for me, I just think that having that support network behind you, and I'm like, I don't know if basically with Matty and Vince, my intention is, if I'm elected, and even if I'm not elected, is I want to work with them, because I think that out of the, like, all of us, I think we all have what's the word for it? That's trying to find the appropriate word without swearing and carrying on. But I think that they have that energy, if that makes sense. So I think that their hearts are in the right place. I think their ideals and their principles are in the right place, and they align with mine. So I didn't think of running as an independent, because I just don't think that without like the support that I've got from AFP has been great. I mean, I'm funding everything myself
Yep.
primarily, but obviously they're giving that little bit of support, which makes it a little bit easier. Like all our core flutes, like I've purchased some, they've helped with some as well, but I mean, they're expensive. I think we're the only party that's had Australian made and on recycled products as well, which is
Oh wow.
amusing, considering you would think that the Greens would do that, but
Yeah. Wow.
no, I think we're the only ones.
There you go.
Maybe that's why somebody flogged my core flutes.
maybe, maybe we were speaking earlier that you might maybe have a secret admirer here in Mount Gambier. So who knows?
Yeah, I know. I know.
So yeah. So you've obviously stated that you are disillusioned, I guess is a word, with the two major parties, Labor and Liberal. So if obviously everything went to plan for you, if the Australian Federation Party, got in, if it be now or in the future, and they were the major party in Australia, what other party would you like to see be the opposing party in Parliament of the two majors, if you were to pick? Probably a hard question, but
Oh, they're basic. Like when you're talking about Labor and Liberal, they're kind of like merging to become the same coin. So
yeah,
you're basically flipping a coin. Most people say that they are, you vote for the lesser of two evils at the time.
yeah,
So I don't know. I can't honestly answer that. At the end of the day, if I'm elected as a representative for Barker, whatever party is supporting or has the best ideas for our region, ultimately I'll work with them as much as I can, because
yeah,
that's what a parliament is. It's about working together for what's better for Australia and whatever region you're representing.
yeah. And speaking of Barker, probably hard to just nail it down to maybe two or three, but what maybe some policies, issues, or some things you'd like to see brought into Barker if you are elected?
Well, Barker's so like it's huge. So you've got different issues in different areas, like and obviously different industries. I mean, you've got the Riverland, which is you got your citrus, and you like there's so many different industries that are across the board. But the Australian Federation Party has a good policy, and that we want to put forward, obviously, which is about the environment, but also about improving farming and the results from farming, so that hopefully farmers start, improving their methods, I suppose, and not tilling the land too much, and also utilising nature as a whole. Then obviously we behind the bringing hemp in as obviously not cannabis, but hemp,
Yep.
which can be utilised in so many different ways. I mean, I was talking to somebody in Murray Bridge, and they were talking about fishing carp out, but they can't get a fish a license from fisheries to do that, and carp are a pest. So there are all these different industries that could possibly be brought into Barker, which would not only create employment but also create new industries and new pathways forward, and enrich the communities as a whole. But across the board, there's employment issues. Obviously, the economy's kind of gone, the cost of living's gone up. So everything kind of merges into one big problem, so to speak. Then I think that ultimately working on the cost of living, bringing that down, working on getting housing for those people that obviously don't have housing, and improving farming and produce is probably the three important things, because obviously there's a lot of, it's a rural electorate, so there's a lot of industries that A, could do with the assistance, and B, we need our farmers, like we need them. So, and we need our land to not degrade. So we need to work with them to try and make sure that they can produce the goods that we need and not over farm,
Yep.
but also make a living. Like we all need to make money.
Yep. Of course. Yeah. Great answer. You've obviously I've seen that you visited Mount Gambier last weekend, my hometown.
Yep.
What was your opinion on Mount Gambier, and what maybe probably it's hard because you've obviously only been there the once. What are some things you notice about Mount Gambier that could maybe be used more, if it be tourism or anything you noticed, or maybe you spoke to some people from Mount Gambier that had maybe some issues that they brought to you, or
No, no one actually brought any issues to me. Apart from, to be honest with you, Mount Gambier is awesome. A great pizza bar as well near Aldi. That absolutely fantastic pizza. But tourism is probably right up there. You got some beautiful countryside. It was my first time to Mount Gambier. Obviously, I went there with my eldest daughter, and poor girl was assisting me and making sure the cornflakes were straight and etc. But and standing around at the shopping centre, and obviously that's where I met Maddie as well, and she invited me into her home, and we did a live with the other freedom fighting group, like
yeah,
parties, and obviously the other independent Vince as well. So ultimately, I think Mount Gambier is an amazing place, and I definitely will be coming back up there again. Loved it, absolutely loved it. It's tourism, and obviously you got your industries up there as well. I
yeah,
didn't get obviously exposed to a lot of that because I'm not a big name. A lot of people don't even know about the party, so it was just good to get the party's name out there, and obviously expose my name as well. But yeah, no, Gambier is great. I love it, and I'll definitely be back whether I win or lose.
yep. And did you get to have many interactions or conversations, if it be just basic
Yeah,
conversations with
yeah,
other Mount
yeah.
Gambier people?
I had quite a few conversations with people just about general stuff. Nothing like political, even. Like I didn't come down there to start sprouting policies and etc. So it was just I got interviewed as well for the local paper there, but it was more about meeting people, and if asking what the main issues were, and I think you guys are just as much as like Murray Bridge. Unemployment and housing seem to be an issue for the areas. But again, without a strong economy, then you don't have people wanting to buy houses and rent them out. Nor do you want people to buy, like people don't want to buy houses because they're too expensive. So it's all about making it affordable, and also creating industries in that area where employment's going to go up. So that's how you're going to fix those problems. But it's not a quick, you can't quick fix it and just throw cash at it, because that's one of the main problems with government now. They just throw money around and there's so much wastage.
Yep. Yep. No, 100% agree. Now, looking ahead, obviously you want to live now and focus on now, but looking ahead, and if you're unfortunately unsuccessful in this federal election, have you looked forward for maybe like a state election in a few years, or you want to run again for federal, or is politics now a bit more I guess, an option for you than what it was?
Yeah, I'm not going anyway. So this isn't just a whimsical thing. I'm pissed. I'm not happy, and that's a general consensus I've had from all my interactions with people in Murray Bridge, in like basically right along that drive back where I've spoken to people. People are pissed off. They're not happy with what's happened. They don't feel that the current government or even the previous government have done what they should have done. They haven't supported the communities, and I think I'm definitely here because I want to see change. I want to see things get better. I'm not saying I've got a magic wand and I'm going to make it happen, but I'm sure as hell going to make a lot of noise. And I think I describe myself as, if I get elected, I'm going to be like a sledgehammer through the front door.
I like
So
that.
I'm
That's good.
definitely not going anywhere.
I like that.
I'm here for the long haul.
Yep, that's great to hear. Um, Now, just into the random question section. Obviously, a lot of voters, especially nowadays with all the different options they have with the different parties, etc., they really want to go into voting booth and vote something for people that they truly believe in. I have noticed for the first time in a few elections in Barker, we don't have a candidate from the Animal Justice Party.
Hmm.
Do you have any issues or policies surrounding that of animals or animal cruelty or live exports that maybe could appeal, or maybe that of your party that could appeal to that group of people that were really wanting to vote for the Animal Justice Party, but obviously don't have that option?
We do. We have a policy called the Animal Welfare Policy. It's up on our website, so if anyone wants to go in depth and read that, it's www.ozvedparty.com.au. Check it out. We've got other policies on there as well, like defence, and obviously I was talking about it before, the environmental farming policy. So we definitely have something that accounts to that. We've got several members who are pro animal welfare and rescue. Our like state secretary, Mark Aldridge, absolutely. He's got kangaroos and stuff hopping around his house because his wife, I believe, runs a rescue, like a fauna rescue. So
Yep.
yeah, we do, and we have some very passionate people about it. So
Yep. That's good. Yeah, and I'm guessing a lot of those will be happy to hear that too. Now, kind of similar but not the same. Obviously, policies around environment and whatnot. You've already stated that your core flutes are printed on recycle, and the Greens failed to do that, which actually amused me a lot. I had no idea about that. Um,
no,
what are some other environmental policies or issues that the party and also yourself will look to tackle if elected?
well, basically, like I said before, we're looking at trying to educate and find new innovative ways to ensure that we don't over farm. So destroying the soil, causing that degradation, and taking away the topsoil, etc. So it's more like that's what our policy is all about. It's about using the environment that we have to improve our farming techniques, to create better crops, to create that financial security for farmers. And again, like something I've said as well, this my understanding is that water at the moment for farmers, they literally have a quota of what they, and then they can buy it from other people who've bought. It's like a share, a stock exchange. So that's absolutely bullshit. Our farmers should have access to that water, and that should be like, there should be no foreign engagement in our water supply. That should be there for our farmers. They pay tax. They provide a produce for us. So that's what it's there for. It's not there for foreign entities or average Joe down at Adelaide buying water to then sell back to the farmers at a hiked price. So the idea is bring that back and get those utilities back, like power and water, And my opinion is telecommunications as well. All those essential services should be owned by the people, hence the government.
Yep.
So
Yep.
getting on my soapbox now, aren't
Hey, yeah, answering the questions perfectly. Um, I've used this analogy with all the other candidates I've interviewed as well, and they've agreed or even come up with their better analogies, sorry, which is great. Um, from the outside, just as a fan of, I guess, politics and all that, it does look like a bit of a David versus Goliath fight with a lot of the independents or the smaller minor parties going up against Labor and Liberal because they've been the two major parties for I don't even know how long, a long time. And I want to bring it specifically just to Barker with Tony Passon obviously running as a Liberal. He's held the seat for nearly 10 years.
you? Yeah.
Does it feel like a David versus Goliath fight against him considering how impressive his numbers have been? With voting booths, I mean, sorry, like with the polls
Oh, I'm not going to lie. When I first looked at his numbers, I was concerned. But I mean, like I said, someone flogging the corflutes, maybe he's actually concerned about us because there is some decent opposition to him. I think I don't know how we will do,
yep.
but I'm a little bit optimistic. Who knows? Is it David versus Goliath? Yeah, we don't have the bankroll.
Yep.
UAP obviously have a decent amount of backing with Clive, I suppose. But for myself and I know the two independents, we're working on a shoestring. I'm literally spending a fair amount of my own money, and I know those guys are spending a fair amount of their own money. I don't know about Carlos and David, how they're doing. Well, I know David's obviously got the support of, like I said, UAP. But yeah, I mean, you look at every poll, like you've got Liberal and Labor, mainly Liberal, bloody corflutes all over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, competing against that is hard because I only have one or two that I can spare. Mount Gambier's had 14. It's only got 12 now. Someone's bedroom's got a couple. Sorry, I got a bad sense of humour. But I've got to spread it out. I don't have a lot of corflutes because I just don't have the money, and I've got a I've had donations coming in, and I've had support. There's supporters obviously coming out of the woodworks, which is awesome. Like it's great. Like the community as a whole, I think hopefully they see past the bullshit and all the publicity. I mean, we couldn't even get on prime time, like TV. We couldn't get adverts.
Oh, wow.
None of them were players. So what can you do? You just got to work with what you got. And I'll go around and I'll shake hands. Well, one of the jokes is shake babies and kiss hands. But I'm literally just going to go out there. I'm going to meet as many people as I possibly can, listen to them, find out what they're looking for, and hopefully come May 21st, I managed to pull off a bloody miracle, and I can walk in there. And if I do, I'm going to drag those two independents with me, and I hope to work with them, like I said, through it. So should they vote for me, I'm going to take those two guys with me, and we're going to work together. And whether Vince likes it or not, I'll grab him by the bloody ear and drag him in. But honestly, I just think that it's doable, but it depends on whether or not those people that are remaining silent stand up. So
Yep.
people just need to stand up. The major parties haven't delivered, so give us a chance, and we'll try.
And I agree. Look, I'm not, I'm completely unbiased in all these interviews. I'm not for or against anyone, but going back to what you said about that it's doable, I am a big history and sports buff, and no matter how big a team is, no matter how big an army is, at some point they will crumble or they will fall. It might take 10 years, it might take 30, but obviously last election Tony Passon was very impressive. I think he had one of the most impressive percentage wins in that of the country for Liberal, I think with over 60,000 votes. But that election before, in 2016, he was challenged by James Stacey from Nick Xenophon's party. He was challenged really
Yeah,
hard, and that it might not on paper it might not look like a challenge because I think Tony had I don't know 44,000 to James's 27,000. But then you look at the election before and the election after that, you look back and realize, yeah, wow, that was a big challenge. Someone's going to do it because James got close. So
yeah. Well, when you're looking at their how to vote cards or their suggestion vote cards, you got to question what's going on there. Yeah, like who knows? Like when Labor and Liberal were kind of like supporting each other, it seems over. I mean, the little guys, so to speak. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. May 21st. Hopefully, people go. Yeah, no, we'll give it a go and see what happens. But again, all I can hope is your viewers and the people that meet me like what they see and go, no, we'll go with this guy.
and so for the people that do want to vote for you, how do you I guess suggest that they vote on their ballot card if they want to put you number one?
Well, I'm right at the bottom on the ballot paper, so I'm not hard to find. Uh, um, but I'll be putting out a suggestion. Well, I don't like to call them how to vote because ultimately it's up to the individual or the elector on how they want to vote. But my suggestion is me number one, Matty number two, or Matty Fry number two, Vince Pinnell number three, David Swiggs number four, Carlos, I can't pronounce his surname, so I'm not going to try, number five, and then the majors and obviously the Nationals, Greens, Labor and Liberal in whatever order you want. Whoever you hate the most, put them at the bottom.
Yep.
So, but on my Facebook page, I'll be putting up my how to vote card. We haven't got them printed yet. Obviously, we're working on that. So I'm going to do most of my stuff digitally and try and get it out there.
Yep. And I guess going away from the political side a little bit, obviously tell and reveal as much as you would like. Who's Kym as a person? Like, what are your hobbies, your career, etc., etc. Obviously, as much as you want to reveal.
Well, who's Kym? Well, I can ask him if you like. He's behind me. I I am. I've been in the defence for 24 years. I had to. I'm still going through the process of resigning because apparently you can't be a member of like a reservist and run for politics. So I'm giving up something I truly love. It kind of pisses me off as well because I love serving my country, but obviously now I'm stepping into a different arena, so to speak, to hopefully serve my country in a different way. But I've always also been a copper. Don't hold that against me, people. I was a copper for 17 years, left that job, and now I'm basically delivering post. So I love going out on my jet ski on the river. Again, don't judge me for those people that don't like the jet skis. I'm one of the sensible guys. And I just generally live a pretty active lifestyle. I like to think I can play guitar. I game, believe it or not. I like to jump on the PlayStation. I haven't had an opportunity since this started. I actually had one of my mates ring me up earlier and go, "Are you actually going to get on Fortnite?" And I'm like, oh, "There's no chance I'm going to be getting on." So yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Hey, I play Fortnite as well. It's
fine. So I do. I've got a ton of hobbies that I just like to be active. I exercise. I go down. I'll give anything pretty much a go. Like I scuba dive, anything outdoorsy. I'll do.
Yep.
And scuba diving's great. If you haven't done it, give it a go. It's fantastic.
Yep. I've done it. I'm a bit scared of the water, but I've done it.
Oh, mate, the first time that I went underwater, I was shitting my pants. So I actually had a fear that I didn't know I had, and eventually I overcame it and had been down 18 meters, a little bit deeper than that, but you're not supposed to go that like deeper than that on your dives when you first start out. But yeah, no, it was good, absolutely fantastic, and it's amazing down there. It's like a totally different world.
Yeah, we've got some great snorkeling and scuba diving areas here in Mount Gambier, Ewans and Piccaninny Ponds. I don't know which one. One of them was actually used by James Cameron in his film Sanctum, which is a lot of Mount Gambier people like to brag about that a major motion picture was filmed here in Mount Gambier underwater, because some of our caving systems and all that's incredible. So
Let's check it out.
yeah, if you
You have
come,
to do a diving course to actually do cave diving, so I might give that a go.
yeah, if you get into it, come down to Mount Gambier, because a lot of people travel far and wide for that reason to come down here and do it. So I recommend it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm heading towards the end of the election. I guess first, your supporters and voters in your area and whatnot, will you be holding an election party or any other campaign things for people to come and talk to you, or are you just going to be hitting the booth from pretty much from now on?
This weekend, I'm going to be heading up to Renmark because I haven't managed to get any core flutes along like my favourite place, the Riverland. But so I'm going to head up to Renmark, and then I'm going to work my way back. So I will be out there this weekend down Renmark, Waikerie, Blanchetown, which is like my second home, Swan Reach, Berry, if I haven't already said that one. Yeah, in that circle there. And then how many? Do we have another weekend before the election? We do.
Yep.
So the weekend after, I'll be trying to organise something. One up your way, and one down towards the Riverland way, just to get more of a meet. No parties. It's just more of a meet and greet and talk to people and get out there and get exposed. I think Maddie's going to be down the Riverland as well this weekend, so I'll probably meet up with her at some point. But I'll be hitting a couple of cafes, one in Berry, I think, and just sticking up my A-frame. So if you're down that way, or if people down that way, just come up and say hi. Let me know what you think. Think I'm a knobhead, let me know I'm a knobhead, and we'll see how we go from there.
Awesome. All right, well that brings the episode to a close. Thank you so much for joining me, Kym. Really appreciate it. All the best, all the very best for all the rest of your campaigning over the next few weeks, and good luck with the election. And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Oh no, mate, appreciate it. Like I said, thanks for giving me an opportunity to jump on the forum.
No worries. All right, well, this has been the fourth episode of Goose of All Trades. Stay tuned next week. I'll be interviewing two people, I can't pronounce their last name, but Jonathan from the Nationals and Carlos from the One Nation. So stay tuned next week. I'll keep everyone posted. And have a wicked weekend, and I'll catch everyone later.